Oh, so I feel some out so constipated. Hello and welcome to episode 184 of Heroes of Handheld, the podcast dedicated to handheld gaming. We like to discuss everything mobile, PS Vita, Nintendo Switch, 3DS, 2DS, anything that you can play with your hands. We'll cover it. That sounded a bit dodgy. People could take that the wrong way, playing with things, small things in your hands, Chris. Hi. Chris, how are you?
Hi.
Cover me.
I'm good. It's good to be back after we had last week off.
Yes.
I can't remember. Oh, you couldn't make last week, could you?
No, I couldn't. I was busy doing adulty things and earning money to buy bread and milk.
So we did a sandwich. So it's good to be back. I'm just going to take a quick photo so I can do some sick promo.
Honestly, that your social media has been top notch over the past few months, I must say. Like on
Thanks.
Twitter, for anyone who uses Twitter a lot, you'll know that when you first open the app on the new day or after a couple of hours, the app will say, give you a little summary of people they think you'll be interested in and what you've missed. So anything that's got a lot of retweets, anyone you like or interact with quite a lot, it shows you them straight away. And I always get Chris's ones in that box.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I obviously like your tweets quite a lot. I'm trying to think what was one of the you know what, my memory is terrible, so I am going to load up social media and have a look at your latest tweet.
Yesterday I got a tweet from Edgar Wright, and that's been doing quite well.
What? No,
I wondered if you'd seen about this.
No. Have I missed this? I'm loading up Twitter.
So I know quite a lot of my friends have been messaging me because that's been coming up in there, like you missed something.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna have to look again. Have I missed this? Am I the... That's not here. Right, I'm going to find you. So what's your name? Enter the flea, isn't it? Enter the flea.
It's on my... you'll have to go on the replies bit.
Yeah. All right, mad for this. Oh, here we go. Ah. Oh, that's good. That's nice. That's a nice reply.
Edgar Wright did a... He had 20 minutes. He was doing an Ask Me Anything. Yeah. And he was like, he said, does anyone want anything? He said, ask me any questions. So obviously I replied, do you want anything from the shop?
Of course.
Because, yes, because you got to. And that did quite well.
Yeah, he got 37 likes and a response from Edgar himself.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. It was cool, wasn't it? But yeah, thanks. I'm trying to post more pictures, trying to post more tweets because it's just nice, isn't it? Instagram's so good for getting like different people interested in what you're doing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I did a thing last year, I think similar to what you're doing now, is when I tried to do more on social media and things, but I found it really difficult to think of new things to say and new things to do. What calling it new Kylie Ray a song of the summer? You've stolen that from someone.
Oh, it's legit.
You've stolen that. I saw that on a news article.
No, yes, I haven't.
You have. And I listened to it. I thought it was average.
All right. Well, anyway, yes. Colin. Yes, it feels good to be back is what I was trying to get at. I've missed you. I'm looking forward to talking, mainly because we've got a Switch game to talk about, which has been quite well hyped. And our kind of listening community, you guys at home, seem really keen to know what we're thinking of this game. So we're going to be talking about Oceanhorn later on.
Even though we've already spoken about it, just saying.
Yeah, but that was for Vita, Colin. No one's got a Vita.
No, don't. Put the final nail in the coffin. Anyway, yes, I'm looking forward to your thoughts because I have said I really liked it, and I did really like it, but I've not played it in like a month. Didn't really make a lasting impression, but I'm hoping that you had similar thoughts to me. So, I mean, shall we get some top of the show bits out of the way? Then we'll talk about Oceanhorn.
So, you want to play?
So, first things first, look at my video. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous?
Yeah, what is this Stormtrooper you've got?
Honestly, Clinton's. You know the shop off of Clinton's, off of Almost Without Business.
Yeah, the cards one.
Rip-off cards. Honestly, they had an amazing sale last week. And if you don't know, they actually have quite a close relationship with Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. And they have loads of like little gifty things from those different things. And obviously, they are the main seller of Tsum Tsums in the UK as well, which me and Chris are big fans of, as you can see my pile next to me here. But they had a sale last week where they had 75% of all things they classed as things you would get your dad for Father's Day. So we just want to get rid of it. And they had this cool Silver Stormtrooper. Now, I'm probably going to insult Star Wars fans because I don't actually know the name of this Stormtrooper. The one that
the thingy from Game of Thrones plays.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's basically the head of the Silver Stormtrooper in mug form. And this was £1.99. Now, I think that is a bargain. That's down from £8. I like that. It's so good. I could either have chosen this or Kylo Ren, but I like the Silver Stormtrooper one. So that's cool. And also, that's not all. I got 8 coasters with a variety of Marvel emblems on. So there's one there. It's Iron Man. Look, it's 3D. Look, he moves. Nice. I got a Captain America one. Like, I've got my beverage at the moment on a coaster, Captain America. Look, it's resting perfectly in the blue star on his shield. Now that is just magical right there. And there's also Hulk, and those coasters were also £2, so £1.99. So for Star Wars mug and some coasters, it was £3.98. That is ridiculous in my opinion.
Do you think is that because they bought too much Father's Day stuff?
Yeah, there was a lot of some of it was really cringy things in my opinion. Obviously some people might like it. It was like socks that were like, "You're my favorite daddy," and then just stuff like that, you know. It's like, that's the sort of thing I would give to my lover whilst we're in our sex dungeon.
It's interesting.
Still there.
Have you noticed this? Yeah. Have you noticed this trend online of people calling celebrities they like mummy and daddy?
Yes. If you go on any famous person's tweet and you go on the comments, the first one is always going to be someone saying mummy or daddy. What is that about, Chris?
It's so, I don't know. I don't understand it, mate. It's so weird.
I'm gonna go name a big celebrity. We're gonna do this live on the air.
Rihanna.
Oh, she's actually all over the news at the moment because she's got a new fella. Apparently,
is she?
Yeah, she was caught having a little snog in a pool with some guy, and no one knows who he is. He's not a celebrity.
Colin,
so there you go.
You mean a new fella? Ella.
I walked right into that one. I don't know why I didn't even think of that one. SOS, someone save me, please. Do you remember that song? SOS. That's like one of her firsts. Right, I'm looking on the comments. I'm looking. This is a tweet from earlier. Let's see if we've got any mummy or daddy ones. No, I haven't. So yeah, that's killed that theory. But I know what you mean. That's weird. Also, talking of Edgar White, going back to what you said a moment ago, that Baby Driver film looks good and it's reviewing very well. So I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm seeing it this weekend. I'm really keen.
Oh, good. Edgar White is amazing. Right. So, Chris, I know you've been playing Oceanhorn, but very quickly, we want to get a piece of news out of the way. Then we'll discuss it because I've been talking about this for the past few weeks, and I'm actually very excited about this. So, as you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 Remastered was announced last year, and it came out with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the hardened edition, or the whatever the big edition was, where you got like loads of extras and it cost like £200. They said they would only be releasing the remastered of Call of Duty Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare game. They'd only be releasing that as part of this package. So you could only get it if you spent about £200 on the game. Well, unsurprisingly, no one is surprised to hear that they finally released it on its own standalone release. It's been rumored for a couple of months because there's loads of leaks all around the internet, but it's finally available to download if you are a PlayStation 4 owner. So you can buy a copy of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered for about £35, which I mean, people are saying they think that's a good price. I think that's a bit steep considering it's actually the exact same game that was released in 2006 or 7, but it just looks a bit nicer. It would have been nice if they could have made it about £20, but you can buy it on its own now on PlayStation 4. Of course, there isn't a close relationship now with Infinity Ward and Activision and Sony, so they've got the exclusivity for about a month or so. So once this month window has passed, it will probably come to Xbox One and PC as well. But it's out on PS4 now, and it will come out to Xbox and PC probably next month, I'd imagine in July. But I'm actually dead keen on this. I was actually thinking the other day, I've got quite a lot of games I could be playing on my Xbox One, but I haven't really got that go-to. You know when you don't really want to think about a game or a storyline, you just want to pick up a game and shoot some bad guys. I haven't really got a go-to game for that at the moment. And I think Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered would be that game. I'd love to get back into that. I loved playing that online. I loved the maps. So yeah, I'm looking forward to downloading that. So
I've got a good... I've been playing a good one that is exactly that sort of meat-headed, shoot the baddies, don't have to think for half an hour.
What is it?
I don't know if it's out on Xbox. I assume it is. It's a game that's free on PlayStation Plus this month called Killing Floor 2.
I know. I recognise that name, Killing Floor.
I played the first one a lot on Steam. And I if you're looking for something like that, just like an online, team up with a couple of people, kill the baddies, wave after wave, don't have to talk too much, kind of play your own game. It's legit. I'd recommend it.
Oh, yes, I remember this. Is it aliens or zombies? Or
it says zombies, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very nice. Yeah, this is the sort of game I really need back in my life. I haven't really got that at the moment. But that's cool. Right, so I just wanted to mention that. So we finally have Call of Duty Remastered Modern Warfare, which is good news, in my opinion. The game, the map, I don't know if you remember it. Do you remember playing on a map called Shipment?
Vaguely, I'm going to look it up.
It was the tiniest map in the game. It was like a big square with loads of tankers in the middle. And it was absolutely brutal because like there's no room. Like you spawn and die basically. You throw a grenade, you're going to kill someone. You use a noob tube, you're going to kill someone. You have a helicopter or an airstrike, you're killing the whole map basically. It was hilarious and it was absolute carnage. I know a lot of people refer to Rust from Modern Warfare 2 as the big small map, but as in the most popular one. But Shipment was absolutely legit. And the ground war game mode where you had like 10 on 10 in that map was just incredible. It was so fun. Oh, I miss those days. Anyway.
I love Rust. Rust was a really good level.
I think people forget how good Shipment was, which is why people think that Rust was the ultimate small map. Rust was okay, I thought, but it had nothing on Shipment. Though it was fun in Rust to climb up the middle bit. That was quite fun. And then stand at the top and just like snipe down.
It's it's good. I'm glad people are going to get a chance to play. I think this will come maybe free on PlayStation Plus at some point.
Oh, I don't know. Aren't Activision quite strict on that sort of stuff?
Yeah, but it's a small game, isn't it? Like, well, not a small, but you know what I mean? It's an old game. Remasters really often end up on PlayStation Plus and re-releases and stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised.
We think that Black Ops Declassified, the PlayStation Vita game, was released, about 4 years ago now? And that's still about 30 quid new. And considering there's not really much of a campaign, it's just like a mini mission game. So I don't know.
Colin, check this. Ready?
What am I checking?
Speaking of old games being available for more people to play, Nintendo this week confirmed the SNES Classic is coming out on the 29th of September. Yeah. Super Mario World, Earthbound, Star Fox 2, Donkey Kong Country, Legend of Zelda 2, and more, all playable on this. It looks like it's going to be fairly popular, given that all the pre-orders I've seen are pretty much sold out.
Is it right that there's two different versions of it? There's a US one and a UK one. Like there's different designs.
I didn't know that.
I saw something online. Let me have a look. So SNES update. Yeah, I think there's something about them being slightly different in their design. But I mean, in terms of didn't they release? Was it the NES Classic they had out a couple?
Yeah,
of
the
years
NES
ago?
Classic was last year,
was
and
like
it
2.
sold like hotcakes.
Yeah,
but
2,
also
yeah.
it sold really well. But they also didn't make very many, so that it was a really annoying thing to get hold of. And they only were selling it from like November to just after Christmas.
Yeah.
It comes out with this new one that comes out in September. It comes with 21 games. It's $80. And the games include Contra 3, Earthbound, Donkey Kong Country, Final Fantasy 3, which is a really good one, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course, Mega Man, Legend of Link to the Past, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Yoshi's Island. That list collated by Forbes, so it's all over the internet. Colin, here's my question, right?
Yes. Lay on me.
So let's say that obviously this comes out, it's going to sell really well, it's going to be sold out, but it's also going to be one of those things that people will start expecting a yearly release of some sort. Do Nintendo do SNES Classic 2 with different games, or do they move on to Game Boy Classic, or do they do N64 Classic?
I think it's too soon to release a Game Boy Classic. They only came out about, what was it, 2000? Game Boy?
No.
Must be.
No. The original Game Boy was 1989 in Japan.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
You're lying. That's ridiculous.
Game Boy Classic would be legit as well.
The first one I had was the Game Boy Color. There seems to be like a trend of these different companies bringing out, remastered. It's not only games now; it's consoles as well. So the nostalgia factor is real. It's what does it say about us as a nation or as a world of gamers that we crave the simplicity of years gone by? It's strange.
And people love, like, I think there must be a generation of people, because the SNES was slightly before our time, because we were in N64 PS1 generation. But people who are old enough to have a SNES are probably now at the point where they're a bit older. A lot of them are like, married couples living in houses they bought. They've got maybe kids, young children, and they don't necessarily have the income to buy like a £300 Switch. But what they will buy is a £90 SNES Classic. Because it's like, oh, hey, remember we were growing up, all these great, these great games we played. I know we've got some of our listeners are a little maturer. Careful. I would love to know. Well, like they're maybe in their 30s rather than their 20s. I would love to know what their take on this is, and whether they would how much of an instant buy the SNES Classic is. So tweet us at Handheld Podcast. Is the SNES Classic something that you are going to be picking up? Is it a nostalgia thing? Or because for me, there's games on there that I've never played that I would like to, but I don't know if I want to buy them. I don't know if I want to buy this massive bundle when I could just play the games when they presumably eventually come to Virtual Console on Switch, if it ever happens.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's why I don't think if Sony were to start bringing out, remastered versions of the PS1 or PS2 or whatever, there wouldn't be a point, because people can still play those games on the newer consoles. So it's definitely, for me, I think you mentioned that this is targeted at the gamer who doesn't have time to sit down and properly play games because they've got a busy work life and not much money. I sort of think this is aimed at the proper gamer market. I think they're only aiming this at people who play video games quite a lot. I think the only people they're targeting this at are people who played one when they were younger. It is completely gripping onto the nostalgia factor, because I think you can play these games on other consoles, on virtual consoles, you said. So I just don't really get it. Fair enough, you want the old console back and you want to see it and be, oh my God, I remember this from my past. But I would be very interested to hear from people who were around when, who were active gamers when this console did come out, and see whether it's something they would be interested in, as you said, because I just don't understand it personally. Like, I would never want to buy a PS1 again, like a remastered PS1, because I can get my Crash Bandicoot games and my Spyro games or whatever on my on a PS4, PS3, or even my PlayStation Vita. So you're paying for the privilege of having that box in your living room again. I just don't get it. It's not aimed at me.
But the thing is, if you love those games, it is such a convenient way to play them all, isn't it? Because it's like, if you love these games, but you don't want to shell out the money for a Switch, but you don't want to play new stuff, you just want to play the old ones. It is a really good deal.
But do you think this is potentially Nintendo exploiting their loyal fan base in a way?
I don't think it's exploitative.
Because
I think it is a bit cheap, but then there isn't Virtual Console on Switch yet. But you can buy all these games in the NES and SNES Classic available in all good stores.
Could this be why they have put in Virtual Console on the Switch?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because they knew it was coming out.
And that is a bit
shitty, to be honest.
But
obviously,
like you
Nintendo
say,
will cover it up. Yeah.
And if you want those games, you have had the opportunity to buy them on the Wii, on a lot of these on 3DS as well. Really good 3DS Virtual Console support. The Wii U as well. Like, you've had your chance.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, as we've said, it would be interesting to hear other people's thoughts on this. People who are more in the know regarding Nintendo and old consoles. But shall we move on, Chris? Because this podcast is taking forever.
Yeah, I do.
Do you know why it's taking forever?
Why?
Because we've got news like this to talk about. And that is the news from last week about Sega Forever. Now, this is a very interesting move by Sega, everyone's favorite company from the past, who tried to release consoles and failed. And then wasn't there like a press conference or something where one of the big bosses of Sega had to come out and start crying, saying that they couldn't do any more. They weren't going to make any more consoles. They were going to focus on game development because the Dreamcast failed so badly.
Vaguely.
Something like that. But this is the latest move from Sega, and it's Sega Forever, which basically means they're bringing a load of their classic titles to iOS and to Android for free. That's right, for free. So you can play them on your phone, on your tablet, wherever you go. And there is a bit of a catch in the sense, like, you can pay for it to have the premium edition, and what that means is you won't have adverts on the screen, but that doesn't really bother me. So in theory, this sounds really cool, and the games that you can get at the moment are Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously, Phantasy Star 2, Comics Zone, Kid Chameleon, and Altered Beast. Altered Beast, isn't that the one where you turn into a werewolf when you're
Altered Beast is quite cool. I quite like Altered Beast.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a massive Sonic fan. And I've actually already played Sonic on my iPad. There was a release of Sonic the Hedgehog. There's been quite a few releases of Sonic the Hedgehog for free on iPad and iOS, I swear, over the years. So it's interesting. But there's been a lot of negative feedback regarding this. Obviously, people are happy about having these games available. It's once again hitting on that nostalgia factor. But the problem has come from the comments and the reviews from the App Store and the Google Play Store. And that's because people have been complaining that there's been choppy frame rate, out of sync audio, input lag, and even as I said, input lag. But what people are saying as well is that it's not necessarily the device you're on, because even really high-end Android phones like the Google Pixel or the Samsung Galaxy S8 have been struggling with them as well. So there's been a bit of a backlash from Sega, and it's interesting because this is quite a good idea in theory, and it's in a way saying, oh, we love our fans, play these games for free, blah blah blah. But then they've not done a very good job at putting them on tablet devices. So, it's just difficult for me, because I agree that people are pissed off and obviously going to have, give their opinions. But then you're getting something for free. So should you really be complaining about it? I don't know. I mean, obviously people can complain about it, but this has caused quite a bit of a stir. And there's been interviews with people from Sega who they've defended it, and they've said they're going to constantly improve it. Obviously, they're not going to admit there's big problems with it. But the chief marketing officer for Sega, Mike Evans, has blamed fragmentation for the wobbly launch and defended its use of Unity.
I guess because it's coming out on lots of different phones, isn't it? Like that's the thing. It's really hard to, when you're making a game, especially for the Android store. I mean, iPhone is slightly different, but when it's coming to Android, you have to develop for so many different types, and on Android, everyone's running different operating systems. It's like, I know developers really struggle with it compared to, I mean, I know there's a lot of problems with Apple and blah, 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 but at least when you develop for Apple, you're developing for a much smaller type of range. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So apparently that's a big part of the problem, because they wanted to make it accessible for a lot of people.
But there's only 2 operating systems, Chris. It's iOS and Android. Why it's not? It's
yeah, but
not,
stop it.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep an eye on this, because they're going to be releasing more games in future, Sega, and they're obviously going to work on making it better. But a lot of people complaining about the fact they've used Unity for the emulation and they haven't used other alternative methods which are supposedly better. But people complaining about free games. There you go. And I love Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'll definitely be downloading this, and it never gets old playing through that game again and again, because Sonic is just so darn good. Right, Chris, do you reckon it's time to talk about a game you've been playing this week?
Yeah, so let's talk, Colin Byrne.
Yes.
About a little title called Ocean.
You know what? I think we should wait until your connection is back up and running so we can properly talk about it, because we want people to hear your thoughts on Oceanhorn, Chris. Are you back?
Yes, I am.
Yes, he's back now. I am here. Now, talk to me about Oceanhorn.
So we've talked about it before in this podcast, because it was promised for a really long time for Vita and came out a couple of weeks ago. If you want to go back and listen to that episode where Colin reviewed it, it's episode 181. And the folks at the Oceanhorn Development Studio sent us a review code for Vita and a review code for Switch. The Switch one came a little late, so I only got to start playing it towards the end of last week. Which originally came out, I believe, in 2013 for iOS, and it's been ported to pretty much everything. It's a really popular title for ports. If you've not played it, or if you've not really come across it, it's like a top-down isometric puzzly combat game. It's a bit like Zelda. It's kind of got a very Zelda feel, but not nearly as fluid. There's a focus on like a young boy with a sword shield and a little boat, and he sails around solving puzzles, getting bits of amulet and stuff. I've played like a couple of hours. I've not played enough to completely review it, but I want to get some first impressions. Colin, Oceanhorn is really, I find it's a really charming game, but I find it really hard to play when I know I could be playing Zelda instead.
That's the thing. Like when I reviewed it, I was in love with it. But after I did my review, I haven't really picked it up since, to be honest with you. I've been distracted by other games.
Because
let's start with the basics. How does it play on the Switch? How is it?
Okay, I'm gonna load it up now. It plays very well on the Switch. It's fairly smooth. It was only a little download. I think the music's really charming. I think the art style's really cool. It's not as clunky as I thought it would be, given it's an iOS port. So I guess they've clearly been upgrading it over time. It doesn't really make use of the Switch all that well.
Right.
Because, for example, I've not noticed any touchscreeny stuff, which is odd. You would think there would be there's basic touchscreeny stuff. Like you can do menus with it. You also can't do any I really like aiming with the motion controller. And Zelda does that really well. This game doesn't do that. I've just got it running. Yeah, it's a really odd one, isn't it? Because it is nice, and I think because they sent us if I had paid for it, I would be playing it still. If I'd got it from PlayStation Plus, I probably would have stopped by now. Because I'm reviewing it, I want to keep playing it. I need to get a better sense before I kind of properly commit to recording something. In video, obviously, podcast a bit different because it's kind of first impressions. It's odd, isn't it? It's like I want to like it more than I do. I think
it is a charming game, as you said. I love the visuals. It's so bright, so beautiful. The story is interesting, but don't you find it really annoying that you can't jump?
Yeah, it's really annoying that if you want to get anywhere, you can't Part of the puzzle navigation is made by the fact you can't climb tiny ledges.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something you unlock later on, but at the moment it's just really annoying because it's like you're in the first kind of towns and you're like, oh, I want to go over there. But you can't go over there because, something's in the way. It's like, oh, great. Okay, thanks then.
Yeah, that is annoying. And I did get to a point where I wasn't too sure what I was supposed to be doing at some point as well. I was just running around hitting things with my sword and hoping that was what I was supposed to be doing.
It's not very clear with your objectives, is it? And I kind of feel like in a game this big, it needs to have a better sense of reminding you what you're trying to do. I get that they're trying to make this kind of open world. And I really like, what I really like is the fact that you don't have the whole map, that you pick up scraps of information by talking to people.
Yeah, then bits get
and they'll say oh, this island's fun. And you'll be like, oh, sweet, I'll go there then. But it's odd, isn't it? And I find this sailing really annoying because you make a path. I think you can probably...
Yes, you can't fast move or whatever it's called, can you?
Yeah, and you can make a path with the touchscreen, for me anyway. But once you're moving, you can't change what you're doing.
No.
So it's if you realize you're going in the wrong direction, tough shit. You've got to keep going now. I mean, you can pause and redo your route, I think,
and shoot barrels that are gonna make your ship sink.
But it's in Zelda, it's so good because you can move around on the go, and it's just it's missing a little bit of polish, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I agree with that statement as such, but I definitely think there are some shortcomings in it and little simple things that could have made it a bit
Yeah, a bit more user
easier.
friendly, and
Yeah,
that's the real problem because pretty much, I mean, the attach rate of Zelda on Switch is massive. Like at one point, more people had bought Zelda for Switch than had bought Switches. So it's like with that standing, I don't see how this game's going to do well because people who could be playing it are going to play Zelda instead. And like for example, so I put this up on Instagram the other day. And this is a classic example. I put this up on Instagram, and one of my friends who's got a Switch, Jeff, he commented on it, and I was like, "Oh, how are you finding it? Like, what do you think?" To get the kind of sense of someone else who's paid for it, and he said, it's Zelda on a budget. It's okay, but I'd rather be playing Breath of the Wild. It's good for a short play session, but if it was PS Plus game, he would have stopped playing it. But because he's paid for it, he'll see it through. Now, I don't even. I mean, I want to see more of the game, but I'm also like, until Zelda stops being so interesting, I'm not going to play Oceanhorn when I could be playing Zelda.
yeah.
And it's like, it's a real pity. And I mean, it must be the same for other consoles, for other platforms, because there are games which are more going to draw your attention. I like Oceanhorn, and I think there's some really nice touches in it, and I think it's charming. And I think the conversation stuff's really good. I think the story's interesting. I think the top-down stuff is frustrating, but I think it makes sense. I think the world is really well thought out. I think they've obviously been very ambitious, but it's like there's just something about it which is a frustrating player experience. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I sort of forgot about you're making interesting points here, and I do remember now actually getting frustrated by the things that you pointed out. But I sort of just got won over. The initial charm of it. It's just a gorgeous game to look at, isn't it? It's just so bright, so colourful, and it's just a nice game.
I mean, also, have you played it in the last week?
No,
no. So I mean, that kind of says something.
No, yeah, I know. I want to get back into it at some point, but it's just other games. I've got back into playing Mass Effect actually at the moment, so I sort of dropped out of that for a bit, but I'm back in Mass Effect Andromeda. I have to say about that quickly, there are no standout characters at the moment. Everyone is annoying. Everyone's stupid, and everyone has monotone voices. Don't like it. But actually, I've just been introduced by the resident Krogan. So I'm sure he will make things a bit more interesting. And
has he got a one-syllable name by any chance?
Oh yeah, it's not Drax. What's his name? Oh, it's like Knack or something. Like back. Yeah, it's just one syllable. Well, I can't remember what it is now. That shows how memorable he was. I can't even remember it. But I've already decided who I'm going to romance, who I'm going to bang.
Jack? Is Jack in it?
No, it's Phoebe. My girl, Phoebe. Give her a Google.
Okay, Phoebe Mass Effect. So shall we move on to some actual news?
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly rattle through my Vita news because I want to get onto the Nintendo stuff. So just want to quickly let you fine folks know about an update to everyone's favorite game, Minecraft, which has been released on Vita, PS4. This came out on the 27th, which was yesterday. So this adds mini game hero skin pack, 7 new trophies, a Bomi scale slider, find balance seed option, added llamas. Everyone likes a llama. Parrots, which can also ride on your shoulder, which is fun. Woodland mansions, loads of other things to the map, observer blocks. So loads of new little features have been added as well. It is really cool, actually. They've actually fixed a load of bugs as well. It's really cool they're still adding these things to the Vita version.
I was just thinking that, like, given how many games come out on Vita and then sort of kind of end up not doing very much anymore, it's really good. They're really good at supporting it, aren't they? Because also, I mean, I'd hate to assume, but I can't imagine that it's sold as much on Vita as it has on, say, PS3 or PS4
or the Switch, for that matter.
Yeah, the fact they're still pushing it is really good.
It is nice. I think it's still doing okay on the Vita. I mean, I think the handheld devices are always where in my opinion, Minecraft is going to be its strongest. Like being able to build worlds and take it wherever you go is always fun, on Vita, Switch, or whatever, or on mobile devices as well. It's just amazing how popular Minecraft still is. And I don't know about you, but one of my favorite pastimes is going on YouTube and searching for awkward moments from Minecon. That is very fun. That's fun. I especially like finding dedicated wham. Dedicated wham. You don't believe. You'll not believe that. Right, last bit of news for Vita, because it's not much, obviously. We got Tuhu Genso Maruki W, the Devil of Decline, which is that was my wrestler name in high school. No, it wasn't. It was my cover band. We used to cover J-pop. We were called Tusu Genzo. I was the drummer. Anyway, this game will launch on PlayStation Vita in Japan on the 29th of this month, which is tomorrow, for 3,000 yen, which is actually pretty cheap, I think. I don't know the latest exchange rate, but I don't think that's very much. Developed by Strawberry Boost, the game introduces a Shikigami system where your party fights while equipped with Shikigami. What the hell? I have no idea what I'm talking about here, Chris. What the hell is a Shikigami? I'm going to Google it. Let's have a look. Shikigami is the term for a being from Japan folklore. It is thought to be some sort of kami, represents Kami's my favorite presenter on Soccer Saturday. Kami.
I don't know what this mythical beast is, but it seems quite kami.
Oh, it's coming. And it's represented by a small ghost. Anyway, so this game's coming out. Honestly, I couldn't tell you anything about it. There's a trailer here. There's loads of young girls wearing very flimsily clad clothing, so you can probably gather. And there's a giant turkey as well for some reason. So, yeah, there you go. Such fun. Anyway, what's happening in the world of Nintendo, please?
On the topic of PlayStation, you've missed something here, which is the PlayStation Plus announcement game for July.
Oh, please tell me what they are.
So for PS4, it's Until Dawn and Telltale's Game of Thrones, which are both excellent.
Oh, very good choice.
PS3 is a game I don't know called Darkstalkers Resurrection, and a game I do know and love called Tokyo Jungle. And then on Vita, it's Element 41 and a game called Don't Die, Mr. Robot, which is cross-buy for PS4.
I remember that game when it first came out. That's a puzzle game, isn't it? Don't Die, Mr. Robot.
Yeah, possibly. If people are listening and they've got PS4s, Until Dawn is definitely worth a play. It's really good, especially if you've got friends over. And the developers of that game have announced their new projects at E3, and they've got some really exciting stuff to come. So do play where it all started with Until Dawn. And Tokyo Jungle is this weird, like, arcade animal dating game, which is just excellent. You have to, if you've got PS3 and you're on PlayStation Plus, you have to play it. It's really good. They've also announced that their first kind of mobile game called That's You is coming. It's in celebration of PlayLink. We'll talk more about this. Hopefully I'll get a chance to play it this week, so we can talk about that as well.
Such fun. I'm back. Hi. Great
anyway,
news. Tell me about Blowjob Blast. What the hell's that?
This is a Kirby game.
Right.
It's not actually called Blowjob Blast. I just put that in because I thought it'd make you laugh.
Oh, it did.
Good. This is a new Kirby game coming to the 3DS. It's called Blowout Blast. It comes 6th of July. It's an eShop exclusive. It's a part of the celebrations of Kirby's 25th anniversary. I don't know too much about it, but if you're a Kirby fan, give it a play and let us know what you think. Blowout Blast. Just gonna look. Have a blast inhaling foes and blowing them away in 3D environments across 25 plus stages. You can battle iconic bosses like Kracko Jr. and King DDD in 3D. So
that rhymes.
I know. It comes out next week, and hopefully we'll have more about that as it comes. It'll be interesting to see how people receive it. I've not played this one, but it's compatible with some Amiibo as well, so that's good. Also on 3DS, very quickly, there is a demo on the eShop now for the Pikmin 3DS game, Hey Pikmin, and also for Miitopia. Haven't had a chance to play those yet. I'm waiting for the full game, especially for Pikmin, but if you played them at Handheld Podcast, tweet us, let us know what you think. Ever Oasis came out last week, and it's doing
maybe
very good.
Gonna be the one that saves me.
Reviews are pretty strong for it. It seems to be receiving quite well. Again, I've not had a chance to play it yet, but at Handheld Podcast, if you want to drop us a little message to say that you're enjoying it or that you're not enjoying it, let us know what you think of it as well. And finally, RPG Maker Fez has just come out on 3DS, which is made by NIS America, who are obviously a great studio for bringing games to the 3DS and to portables in general. It's available now. It lets you develop any RPG with no need for programming skills. This is really popular. The RPG Maker series are really well loved. So do give this a try. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you build. I know it's quite... I've seen people play this, and RPG Maker is similar, and they are quite tricky, but I think quite rewarding once you get into them. And you can play for free with you can play RPGs for free with RPG Maker, and you can play other people's ones and stuff and do loads of design and things. And there's loads of DLC as well from NIS, which is I think characters from maybe Disgaea. I don't know what the avatars are. I think it's Disgaea. Just watching the trailer on YouTube. NIS character DLC. There we go. So stuff from different games. But yeah, we'll look at the trailer. This is quite exciting. I'm keen to give this a try. Actually, I love something like this. And let us know what you think about at Handheld Podcast on Twitter. The thing is, there's so much coming for 3DS at the moment that I don't have time to play it all because I'm trying to finish blooming Oceanhorn.
Yeah, it's not good when the game becomes a burden and you're just playing it when you don't want to. Chris, you should play what makes you happy.
Yeah, I try to, but also if they sent us a code, I also kind of feel like you have to give it a fair shot.
You're not supposed to say that.
You're allowed to say that.
Don't think so, mate. Don't think so.
Why not? We're serious games journalists, Colin.
Oh, grow up.
The last bit of news I want to talk about, really quickly, is a Switch bit of news. This is Yooka, which is the Kickstarter game from Playtonic, which has done sort of well. Kind of launched with 5, 6, and 7s by the people who made Banjo-Kazooie. It is being tested for Switch at the moment. They tweeted they're entering console and Switch specific testing. Hopefully they'll have a final date fairly soon. This is obviously fairly important because a lot of people originally pre-ordered it because it was coming to Wii U, and then they said you can't have it on Wii U, but you can have it on Switch. So it is coming this year. Watch this space. Finally, in Kickstarter news, Colin.
Yes.
Yacht Club Games tweeted yesterday it's the 3-year birthday of Shovel Knight.
Woo! Pop, pop, pop. That's my party poppers.
They've done loads of talk on the tweets as well. They're working on something new after Shovel Knight. It won't be Shovel Knight 2, but they will be looking at. I think it seems like they're not going to be done with Shovel Knight forever. Like I think there will be another one, but just judging from the tweets,
just like Skyrim.
They're still working on the King Knight DLC. Judging from the tweets, they're kind of keen to try something else afterwards, but I don't think they'll ever truly leave Shovel Knight. Like I feel like Shovel Knight 2 will happen at some point.
You're a big fan. Right.
Yeah, I love that game.
Chris, we've just hit 9 o'clock. I need to watch Love Island. I need to get out of here right away.
Okay, well, why don't you say goodbye?
Hi, goodbye, not hi. Goodbye, everyone. Hello there. Goodbye. Thank you. We should sing the goodbye song, Chris.
Goodbye, Colin.
No.
Goodbye.
No. Hey, this was really fun. We hope you liked it too. Seems like we've just begun when suddenly we're through.
What's this from?
Goodbye. It's from Bear in the Big Blue House.
I had literally no idea what you're doing.
What? Do you not know what that show is?
No, are you getting it confused with Blue?
Bear... No, Bear in the Big Blue House. What? You've never... What? Oh, right. Okay.
No, I'm going to watch it, but after we're done podcasting.
No, I'm sending you the video.
Of course, you bloody...
I'm putting that song at the end of this podcast now. How can you not know the Bear in the Big Blue House goodbye song, or even know the show? It was a house where a big bear lived, and he used to sing with the moon, and there was a mouse, and there was a skunk. Oh, it was so good. This makes me sad. Anyway, thank you for listening. Heroes of Handheld on iTunes or Stitcher, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com, heroesofhandheld@wordpress.com. Send us a message, tweet us at Handheld Podcast on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Any thoughts on what we've discussed this week, let us know. We'll be back next week in some form. Some form. We will let you know what that form will be next week. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a smashing week. Enjoy playing your handheld gaming devices. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. Now it's time to go.